thank you for your service. And Major General Lou Mackenzie, as I always say, Major General doesn't need any introduction. I think everyone knows what a great hero you've been for our country, and thank you both for your service. It's great to be back here in beautiful Ottawa with my all-star Minister of Heritage, Sport, Tourism, and Culture and Industries, Lisa MacLeod. I can tell you, my friends, I always say it, one of the hardest working members down at Queen's Park, bar none. What are you up to, about 15 ministries that you're taking care of now? Wearing many hats, and Lisa's doing an incredible job. This year, we mark the 75th anniversary of the end of Second World War. And with November the 11th just around the corner, this is a time to remember those who fought to preserve peace and freedom. Recognize those who continue to defend it, and honor those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our country. Here in Canada, we have a few traditions when it comes to November 11th. In the week of November 11th, we wear a poppy, and we wear a poppy, being very proud of wearing that. And after hearing what I heard this morning from Whole Foods, the policy that they introduced, that they won't allow any employee to wear a poppy, I find it absolutely disgraceful. I find it disgusting. So we're going to introduce legislation immediately that permits any employee, no matter where you work, and to wear a poppy, and making sure that no employer can force someone not to wear a poppy. We also observe a moment of silence. We remember our grandparents, a relative who did their part. And today we find yet another way to support our veterans through the power of support and friendly competition among peers. I'm proud to announce the first ever Valor Games, which will be held right here in Ottawa. And I thank everyone that's involved. And I know, again, Minister, you're the #1 cheerleader. You make things happen. The Games will attract veterans and active service members of all abilities from across Canada to compete as athletes. Our government is investing $3 million to help make these games a reality. We're giving back to those who gave so much to secure the future of this country and this province. Minister MacLeod will share more details in just a moment, but I do want to take this opportunity to thank every single veteran, member of the military, reservist, and cadet for their outstanding service. I want to thank the Canadian Armed Forces who came to our aid when the first wave of COVID-19 hit us here in Ontario. And who did we call for support in our long-term care? But the best armed forces in the entire world, our Canadian Armed Forces, went in there, and I described it as the cavalry coming over the top of the hill to come to our rescue, and we'll never forget that, and we'll always be grateful. We owe all of you and your families a debt of gratitude. And I have no doubt the Valor Games will be a huge success, and I can't wait to be here to open the games with you and the other folks, Minister. I just want to say thank you. God bless our veterans, and God bless the people of Ontario. Now I'll hand it over to Minister MacLeod.
Thank you very much, Premier, and I think I speak on behalf of all Ontarians in saying how proud we are that you took the stand today in supporting our men and women in uniform and those who have served and gone before us by taking on Whole Foods right here in Ottawa. Obviously, we wear our poppy with pride. We mark our moment of silence on Remembrance Week, and this particular announcement today, this $3 million announcement for the Valor Games, the spawn of the Invictus Games is incredibly important and very positive. It's wonderful to be here with my good friend, Lou Mackenzie. We've been friends for many years, and he has guided me and on many occasions, and I'm delighted that he's here today, and I'm delighted that we recently appointed him to the Honours and Awards Secretariat in the Ministry. I'm also here with Mike Trana, who has served our country both in Bosnia as well as in Afghanistan, and he has been a competitor in Invictus Games, and he is an elite athlete in para-canoe. And I was delighted to find out that our ministry, through our Quest for Gold, supports his endeavors. Today is obviously very important for us in the nation's capital, but also through heritage sport, tourism, and culture industries. As we mark the Valor Games and we mark Remembrance Week, we think about the difficulties many generations have had over the years. And of course, as we move through a pandemic here in Ontario, this has been one of the greatest challenges all of us have ever seen. And the ministries of heritage, sport, tourism, and culture industries have been hit hard. They have been hit swiftly and will likely take the longest to recover. So today's announcement, the first after the provincial budget yesterday, is very significant to both the City of Ottawa, to our Canadian forces, and again, to our entire suite of sectors. So I'm proud to be here today to announce our government's support for the Valor Games, a new multi-sport competition for wounded, ill, and injured Canadian military personnel and veterans. Our brave service members and veterans face a number of challenges when they return from deployment or transition to civilian life. And through sport and through that camaraderie together in competition, we know that this is going to be a very successful part of their journey. And we believe that their individual journeys to recover and rehabilitation can greatly be enhanced through the transformative power of sport. That's why we're providing $3 million in funding for the inaugural Valor Games to be held right here in our nation's capital, every Canadian's second hometown. Taking place over 1 week, the Games will welcome 500 competitors from across Canada to compete in more than 10 adaptive sports. You know, our men and women liberated other nations. They fought tyranny in lands far away. And more recently in Afghanistan, they protected us from the scourge of terrorism. And we are proud of them, and Ontario is proud to support our wounded veterans and showcase their athletic accomplishments through this exciting multi-sport competition. Lest we forget. I'll now pass it over to Lou Mackenzie.
Premier, Minister, je m'excuse, je ne parlais pas français bien, which is a bit ironic that I don't speak French well, because in Sarajevo, 2/3 of the soldiers that made me look good were from the Vendu, French-Canadian soldiers, and the other third from the RCR, who struggled like I did to understand some of what was going on. Nevertheless, it's a real pleasure to be here representing Michael Burns. Michael Burns, you probably recall the name, was the conceiver and the CEO of the Invictus Games. He got his idea for Canadian participation back in 2014 when Prince Harry's first Invictus Games took place in the United Kingdom, and subsequently went to the United States, and then to Canada in Toronto in 2017, which was the biggest, most successful, comprehensive Invictus Games. Now, the fact is that it was so successful that any number of people in Canada, wounded, ill, veterans, servicemen and women, wanted to participate the next time around. But there's just not space. You can only take so many people to Australia, to Europe, whatever, as part of the team, families. And so it was thought that we would follow along the line of what happens to the Warrior Games in the United States and create our own national Canada Valor Games. And they would happen every second year. That way we can take a large number of people who wanted to participate and get them into the games here in Canada rather than just limiting ourselves to the international games, wherever they might be. I think it's fair to say, and I would hope that Mike would agree with me, that it's very important for the participation of these injured, ill, whatever soldiers, servicemen and women, but that's not the most important contribution. The most important contribution to the country is the fact that people are not coming forward to participate in athletic activities, test their body, test their minds, etc., that are sitting there at home. I'm saying that not in a pejorative sense, but not getting out and about to actually see the games, see how successful they are, see the leadership that's provided by people like Mike, and they come forward to participate. And they wouldn't have done otherwise. And so it's very important for Canada's morale and the morale of everybody here in this wonderful province of Ontario to get that message and join up. And those 500 athletes every year, every 2 years, it just doesn't happen at the event. It's all of the effort leading up to the event that is so good for them and so good for the morale of the rest of us. Now, let me be honest. This couldn't have been easy. We have serious problems and challenges in Ontario. And most of them are related not just to the virus, but to finances. And to see this commitment of $3 million as a kickstart fund for the Valor Games is absolutely outstanding. I won't say it's a surprise, but it was to me because I didn't have any background information on it. I think it's just absolutely marvelous. And I hope somewhere there's a hill not far from here, and maybe that hill is paying attention, and we look forward to continuing support from other levels of government. So bless you both, the Premier, the Minister. Thank you so very much. And now for a true Canadian hero, Mike Joyner.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for having me here today. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a personal story through the power of sport, what actually led me to here today. On December 5th, 2008, I was wounded in Afghanistan. An IED went off. It took both my legs, destroyed both my arms and hands, left me with scarring, burns head to toe. And it took the one most important thing that every single soldier relies on, purpose. At that point, I already knew my career was going to be finished. I was going to be having to retire from the military. I was very stressed about these things and mentally not in the right place. I was in a very dark space. I had no idea about the power of sport, what it can actually do, how well it can heal our veterans and other people as well. So there I was in the hospital, trapped in a hospital bed. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything without anybody's assistance. It was terrible. Until I got a phone call from the Invictus Games, Mr. Michael Burns, and he said, I want you to come out to the Invictus Games in Toronto. Meet the team. I'll introduce you to special people from other nations as well. So I went, and I was challenged to represent my country again, which made me feel so proud to don the maple leaf again. You know, I'd served for almost 19 years with 3rd Battalion Royal Canadian Regiment out of CFB Petawawa. And every single day I got up, I was proud to wear that uniform, proud to represent the people of Canada and all the ethics and standards that comes with being a soldier. When that was taken away from me, it destroyed me, as it does many soldiers. But when I was given that opportunity to compete at the Invictus Games, I was re-energized, revigorated again. I felt like a brand new soldier again. So I trained as hard as I could for 1 year, just 1 year. And my goal was just to make Canadians proud and happy of me. That's all I wanted. So I went there, and lo and behold, out of 18 other nations, I got double gold medals for Canada. And I was so proud. I looked across the room, and all in front of me was all of you, Canadians. They had all the flags flying. Everybody was in tears. It was the greatest moment of my life. And that was the power of sport that got me off my couch. It's the power of sport that put purpose back into my life, which I needed. These games, the Valor Games, are going to give purpose back to soldiers that have lost their way. Whether they need mental assistance or help with physical challenges that they face every single day, the power of sport shows them what's possible. Just because you have a disability, it doesn't mean you can't try. And that's all I ask of my fellow veterans, is to come out and try. Where has it led me? After the Invictus Games, they told me to go try out for the Paralympic and Olympic tryouts in Toronto. I got picked up by Canoe Kayak Canada, and now I'm on the national team. I actually leave for British Columbia tomorrow for training as I make my way towards Tokyo 2021 to hopefully bring back some more medals for Canada. So standing up here as a wounded veteran, the message is, if you can dream it, you can do it. I was one of the top injured guys for my injuries from an IED, and I was able to accomplish what many thought that I could never do. For years and years, I heard I can't do, and I just got tired of what I can't do and turned that into a positive of what I can do. And now, I'm very proud to say I can put on the uniform again. I can hold my head up high, and it's all because of games like the Invictus Games, and now soon to be the Valor Games as well. And I will be there to assist any athlete that I can, whether through mentoring or coaching. And I'll also be there to compete, just because I want to keep everybody on their toes. Happy gaming, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike. That was so inspiring. We are so proud of you. Don't ever for a moment think that your country isn't there for you. We definitely always will be. As the wife, a daughter, granddaughter, and great-granddaughter of men who have served our country, Premier, this announcement means a great deal to me. And it is also the perfect intersection of heritage sport, tourism, and culture as we fight to get out of COVID-19 and restore these sectors. So for members of the media, the Premier and I will be available later today for comments on this after the press conference at 1 o'clock. So we look forward to seeing you all then. And I'd just like to see if we can arrange for a photo op and maybe another way we might be able to support our local legions. So, thank you. All right. Now, do we all have masks? Do you have can you guys put your Legion masks on?
Sure.
Do you have the Premier's Legion mask?
Can't get it around my ears.
Oh, okay, yeah, sure, okay.
I got too big of a head.
And we've got to just okay, yeah, sorry. Yeah, mine is, do you want these? Okay. I did this one myself one time where okay. I'm hoping I might be able to.
My noggin's too.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On February 18th, 1943, Squadron Leader Alfred Brenner of Toronto was flying off the coast of the Netherlands when he and his crew spotted an enemy convoy consisting of 5 destroyers. Rather than peeling away and calling for reinforcements, Squadron Leader Brenner attacked low over the waves, dropping a torpedo that successfully hit a 5,000-ton enemy vessel. Facing heavy fire, their plane was shot down, but not before they sent an SOS. Alone in dangerous waters, with a life raft and few resources, Alfred and his crew sent another call for rescue by sending a messenger pigeon that they had taken from their aircraft. After 2 long days at sea, Allied forces picked them up in a daring rescue mission. For his bravery, Squadron Leader Brenner received Britain's Distinguished Flying Cross. In the face of danger, Alfred and his crew chose to be brave. They chose to put their own lives on the line for the greater good. It's no wonder his citation reads, "This officer has displayed the greatest keenness and devotion to duty." En ce début de la semaine des vétérans, nous nous souvenons des héros comme le commandant d'aviation Brenner, dont les actions reflètent le courage de tant de femmes et d'hommes en uniforme. Nous rendons hommage à tous ceux et celles qui ont risqué leur vie pour notre liberté, incluant les 8 courageux membres des Forces armées canadiennes qui ont perdu la vie dans l'exercice de leurs fonctions cette année. Nous honorons leur mémoire et jamais nous ne les oublierons. Monsieur le Président, à l'occasion du 75e anniversaire de la fin de la Deuxième Guerre mondiale, nous reconnaissons la chance que nous avons de vivre dans un pays comme le nôtre, grâce au sacrifice, au service et à la ténacité des gens qui ont vécu cette terrible guerre. Ils ont enduré la perte de frères, de sœurs et d'amis, mais malgré tout, ils ont trouvé de l'espoir et de la compassion les uns dans les autres. Au cours des décennies, ils ont continué de paver le chemin pour bâtir un monde meilleur et pour servir le bien commun. Et c'est ce même sens du devoir et du sacrifice qui a aussi conduit nos forces armées à participer à de multiples missions de maintien de la paix, notamment en Corée et en Afghanistan. Quand nous avons besoin d'eux, nos femmes et nos hommes en uniforme sont toujours prêts à se porter au secours des autres. Récemment, ils ont fait preuve d'altruisme en protégeant et en aidant nos citoyens les plus vulnérables, nos personnes âgées, dans les établissements de soins de longue durée. Monsieur le Président, leurs gestes et leur dévouement à l'égard des valeurs canadiennes sont le reflet de ce que nous avons de meilleur à offrir. Our veterans served Canada with honor and valor right across this country and all around the world. They stepped up for us, and now it's time for us to do the same for them. We don't need to wonder how we will rise to the moment because we need only look around Canada to see the answer. We see it in young people getting groceries for older veterans to keep them safe. We see it in frontline workers who, after hours of standing on tired feet, never give up as they care for our parents and grandparents, the last members of the greatest generation. We've seen it in the crew of the HMCS Fredericton and the members of the Snowbirds, brave women and men who, even after tragedy, continued to show us what service and sacrifice means. En cette semaine des vétérans, pensons à ceux qui ont servi avec honneur et courage. Laissons-nous inspirer par les idéaux qu'ils avaient à cœur et contribuons tous ensemble à bâtir avec eux un monde meilleur. Merci, Monsieur le Président.
The Canada Child Benefit has been putting more money in the pockets of hardworking Canadian families since 2016. As part of its COVID-19 economic response plan, the Government of Canada gave 3.7 million families a one-time extra payment with their regular May 2020 Canada Child Benefit payment. Families already getting the benefit received an additional $300 per child. Also this year, in July 2020, the CCB has been indexed to inflation to keep up with the cost of living. Now, this benefit year, based on income when filing your 2019 tax return, eligible families can receive up to $6,765 a year per child under age 6 and up to $5,708 per child age 6 through 17. This gives increased support for middle-class families so that they can pay for things like healthy food, clothes for growing children, and activities they can do together at home. For example, a family with 2 children under the age of 6 with an income of $30,000 will receive $13,530 this benefit year. That is $250 more tax-free than last year, and just over $3,000 more when compared to child benefits that existed before the Canada Child Benefit. And it's tax-free. So when your family files their tax return, there's no CCB to pay back. It's that simple. This is just one of the many ways the Government of Canada provides support to families who need it most. For more information, visit canada.ca/Canada Child Benefit.
Mon nom, c'est Éric Laframboise. Je travaille à la ville de Gatineau comme chauffeur d'autobus. Puis j'ai une belle petite fille de 9 ans qui est Annabelle.
Je m'appelle Annabelle et je suis en 3e année, puis j'ai 9 ans. Mon père s'appelle Éric. J'aime beaucoup jouer à Pokémon Go. J'aime aussi faire du bicycle. J'aime marcher avec les chiens, avec lui.
Pour moi, c'est très important de passer du temps avec Annabelle. C'est ma seule fille. Je l'adore plus que tout au monde. C'est juste un petit joyau que j'adore passer du temps avec. L'allocation canadienne pour enfants nous aide beaucoup avec les cours pour Annabelle, les cours de danse, les cours de natation, aussi les sorties comme des fois on va au zoo, les sorties pour faire de la poterie qu'Annabelle aime beaucoup, qu'elle fait quelques fois par mois.
Mon activité préférée est la danse parce que ça me fait du sport, puis j'aime ça les spectacles, puis aussi j'aime ça apprendre d'autres nouveaux mouvements.
Les activités sont importantes pour Annabelle, juste pour avoir de l'activité physique, c'est interagir avec d'autres mondes, passer du temps avec des amis ou ses parents, puis pour apprendre des nouvelles choses.
Bonne fête des pères.
Merci, je t'aime.
Merci.
Bon vendredi à tous, tout le monde. In Canada, just like in many other countries, COVID-19 cases are still rising. Yesterday, both British Columbia and Saskatchewan announced a record high of daily new cases. On Wednesday, Ontario reported their largest number of new COVID-19 related deaths in a single day since the beginning of the second wave. I can't stress this enough. This situation is serious. These are not just numbers. These are people's grandparents, parents, and loved ones. We all have our own reasons, our own loved ones that we want to look out for and protect. I just got news last night that my godfather and uncle, Tom Walker, had to be readmitted to hospital last night. He's been in and out of hospital over a while, and I'm sending him my love, and we're all thinking about our loved ones who we haven't been able to see for many months, who we're worried about. We all have our reasons to keep each other safe, to follow public health advice. We need to do that. It's particularly nice outside in many parts of the country this week, which means we're still enjoying lots of fresh air. But winter is coming. And that means we're going to have to get into more enclosed spaces. We're not going to be able to open windows wide in rooms. Ventilation is going to become much more important. We need to remember to be careful. There is increasing evidence that aerosol spread is a vector of transmission. We need to wear masks. We need to avoid crowded, closed spaces, as Dr. Tam has said many times. We need to make sure we're making it into winter on a good footing so we can hold on through winter. The vaccines hopefully will be here in the spring, but there's a lot of work to do between now and then to make sure that we're keeping Canadians safe and healthy. That's the work we need to continue to be determined to do. We need to continue to be there for each other. So continue to follow local public health guidelines. Wear a mask. keep your distance, and download the COVID-19 app. Les cas de COVID-19 continuent d'augmenter au Canada et à travers le monde. Je veux être bien clair, la situation est sérieuse. Ce n'est pas le temps de baisser notre garde. Cette semaine, on a vu des nombres records de nouveaux cas dans plusieurs régions du pays. Hier seulement, le Québec a enregistré 1138 cas supplémentaires. Pensez à vos grands-parents, à vos proches, aux travailleurs de première ligne et aux plus vulnérables. Ensemble, on peut aider à les protéger en suivant les consignes des autorités locales de santé publique. Continuons de porter le masque, de garder nos distances et de télécharger l'application gratuite Alerte COVID. Il fait beau dehors ces jours-ci dans beaucoup de parties du pays. Nous pouvons continuer d'être dehors, mais dans quelques semaines, l'hiver va arriver. Nous allons devoir être plus à l'intérieur, dans des endroits moins bien ventilés, dans des endroits où on ne peut pas ouvrir les fenêtres. Et nous allons devoir faire vraiment attention. De faire tout ce qu'on peut maintenant pour empêcher les éclosions de la COVID-19, pour entrer en hiver dans une meilleure posture que ce qu'on est maintenant, pour pouvoir passer à travers l'hiver en sachant que le printemps va être mieux, l'été va être mieux, on l'espère avec des vaccins. Donc, continuons de tenir bon, d'être là les uns pour les autres. On a tous nos raisons de suivre les instructions des autorités de santé publique. Nous nous devons, tous et chacun, de continuer de faire notre part. De notre côté, le gouvernement aussi poursuit ses efforts. Par exemple, lors de la dernière semaine seulement, nous avons envoyé 3,5 millions de gants en nitrile vers les provinces et les territoires pour les soutenir dans la lutte contre le virus. Nous continuons aussi de distribuer des tests de dépistage rapides. Dans les 3 dernières semaines, plus de 2,8 millions de tests rapides ont été distribués et plusieurs autres suivront sous peu. While our government is doing everything we can to keep Canadians safe, we're also working hard to keep Canadian jobs. This morning, we received the news that 84,000 jobs were added to the economy in October, mostly full-time positions. This means over 2.3 million Canadians have returned to work after they lost their jobs during the pandemic. We're making progress, but there's still much more work to be done. The technology and innovation sector is and will continue to be a key tool in creating good jobs and rebuilding a stronger, more competitive economy. In April, we created the Innovation Assistance Program with the National Research Council of Canada to support innovative businesses, including pre-revenue firms that were not eligible for the wage subsidy. This investment helped small and medium-sized Canadian businesses keep 24,000 employees on the payroll. To continue supporting these companies and the people they employ, I can announce that we are extending the Innovation Assistance Program with a new investment of $155 million. High-potential, innovative firms are key drivers of economic growth, and we will be there to help them bridge to the other side of this crisis. Aujourd'hui, j'annonce un investissement de 155 millions de dollars pour prolonger le programme d'aide à l'innovation du Conseil national de recherche du Canada. Ce programme a pour but de soutenir les petites et moyennes entreprises du secteur de l'innovation, incluant les entreprises à revenus subséquents qui ne sont pas éligibles à la subvention salariale. Suite à sa création en avril, le programme d'aide à l'innovation a permis de conserver 24 000 emplois. L'industrie de l'innovation a un rôle primordial à jouer dans notre relance en vue d'une économie plus forte et plus compétitive. Notre gouvernement est là pour aider ces entreprises et leurs travailleurs à passer à travers cette crise. Le ministre Baines va élaborer davantage dans quelques instants, mais avant, j'aimerais aussi parler de nos efforts pour encourager la recherche scientifique partout au Canada. La science est notre plus grand atout pour lutter contre le virus. C'est pourquoi nos chercheurs doivent avoir accès aux ressources nécessaires pour bien faire leur travail. Par le biais du Fonds des occasions exceptionnelles COVID-19 de la Fondation canadienne pour l'innovation, nous ferons un investissement de près de 28 millions de dollars
qui soutiendra 79 projets de recherche liés à la pandémie. Pour une équipe du Cégep André Laurendeau, par exemple, ces fonds permettront d'étudier des endroits publics en se servant de la technologie 3D pour aider à améliorer les mesures de distanciation sociale. À l'Université de Calgary, d'autres chercheurs vont pouvoir se servir d'un nouveau microscope à la fine pointe pour étudier l'effet de la COVID-19 sur les vaisseaux sanguins. Les équipes sélectionnées œuvrent dans des universités, des cégeps, des hôpitaux de recherche, des collèges et des polytechniques à travers le pays. Ces investissements les aideront à se procurer l'équipement nécessaire pour bien mener leurs recherches et faire avancer la science. As we head into the weekend, I want to end today by coming back to something I mentioned last Friday. Things are tough, and we all need to take care not just of loved ones, friends, and neighbors, but of ourselves, too. In many parts of the country, right now you might be asked to stay home and limit the number of people you see as much as possible. I know we all miss getting together with friends, colleagues, and extended family. It's not easy. So if you're feeling anxious, or if you're struggling with mental health or other challenges, pick up the phone and reach out to someone you can trust. You can also always call 211, a 24-hour helpline that will connect you to the right resources. It's free and confidential, and they can help you in more than 150 different languages. Merci, prenez soin de vous, passez une bonne fin de semaine et une bonne semaine du souvenir.
I wanted to come and personally thank the outstanding team at Ottawa Civic Hospital, led by the outstanding President and CEO, Cameron Love, as well as all of our frontline workers at our Ottawa hospitals and long-term care homes. You're absolute champions. You've been true heroes over the past few months. And Mayor Watson, it's great to see you again, and thank you for our many great discussions we've had. We've been listening to you and to the people of Ottawa, and I'm here today with our Minister of Finance, Rod Phillips, our Health Minister, Christine Elliott, and all of our local champions, Minister Lisa MacLeod, Minister Marilee Fullerton, MPP Goldie Gamari, and MPP Jeremy Roberts. I always say Ottawa is well represented because we've made incredible progress here in Ottawa. A few weeks ago, when we first saw the second wave that hit Ottawa, we worked closely with Mayor Watson, Dr. Etches, and her team to quickly bring in targeted action to stop the spread of COVID-19. And thanks to that early and necessary action, we're now seeing real improvements. And I was talking to the mayor the other day, and it's amazing when people band together what they can do. New cases in Ottawa are trending down. People are following the rules. And I agree with Mayor Watson and Dr. Etches 100% when they say we have to find ways to make sure we keep our schools and businesses open while protecting everyone's health and safety. That's why, effective tomorrow, I can confirm that Ottawa will be moving to the orange restrict level of our new COVID-19 response framework. This means Ottawa restaurants, bars, and gyms will be able to reopen tomorrow, provided they follow public health measures. York Region will be joining Ottawa as Eastern Ontario Health Unit moves to yellow protect level. That's because of improving public health trends.